introduce the challenge. I thought I would get audience on Friday, but I didn't. So today was just like the kickoff meeting. So from tomorrow to Friday, it's just and this is gonna be like it's the first one. I don't expect it to be like perfect, but a lot of people may not even know what this is. They may not have done this before, so it might be a very new concept, and it might look very challenging. But I promise it's going to be doable. It's very doable. So basically, what's going to happen is we will have Monday to Friday, 3 meals a day, anything that you cannot cook, that you can eat raw. Now,
anything that you can't cook?
yes, because so we're trying to avoid any cooking at all. Of course, I do not expect you to eat raw meat. I know that people eat raw meat. I wouldn't advocate for it. I wouldn't suggest it. But so basically, that leaves us with certain types of foods. That's vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds. I know some nuts have been like pan fried or salted or things like that. So that I'm going to allow that for now. So the idea is just to focus on those 4 food groups, 4 food categories: vegetables, fruits, and nuts and seeds.
I don't eat nuts and seeds.
Yeah. So for everybody else out there who eats nuts and seeds, that's part of their routine. So for you, it's just going to be a lot of veggies and fruit.
No protein?
No. So we can only eat the protein that is going to come from those foods. Now, let me know what kind of, so do you eat peanut butter or
No.
it's anything nuts, seeds?
No. You know, no, they cause me inflammation, even on my tongue. Nuts are not, I can't.
So that's okay. So I know it's gonna be a little bit more, and for you, we can adjust a little bit. So what you had said there are some types of beans that you can eat.
On the AIP diet, I'm not supposed to eat legumes. So I'm very difficult.
All right,
I just ate some refried beans at church and my stomach is not happy. What I ate at church right now, I didn't like. She made tacos. I took the hamburger meat out of there and I ate the refried beans. And right now my stomach is not happy.
Okay. So for you, I need you to do what we had agreed last week. Just send me the list of the foods that you can eat. And then I'll come up with a customized kind of a meal for you, a meal plan for you. So you send me those foods probably by tonight or tomorrow, and then I can.
Can I bring you my papers? Can I just copy, send it to you, or bring it to you?
Yeah, you can do that. You can bring them to me. You can make copies and give me the list, the copied papers.
Yeah, I think that's what I meant to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't get it done, but okay. So bring my food list to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So most likely this session may not so much apply to you then because yours is going to be so way customized. It may not look like for everybody else. But I'm just gonna say how it's gonna go, and if you feel that you wanna check out, that's perfect by me because a lot of things are not going to apply to you. Now, the only part that is going to apply to you a lot, apart from what you're doing separate from everybody else, is the water intake. Two things: water intake and also the spiritual aspect of it. So we are not just doing the eating part; we are doing the surrender part as well.
Okay.
So that is going to apply much. So I'm going to talk a lot about that now so that if you want to just go do something else as I talk about the rest of the part, that's perfectly okay. So you don't have to stay the entire time for something that may not absolutely apply to you. Yeah, so basically water. So Water is extremely, extremely important, and especially also reducing inflammation, because we want to be able to eliminate those toxins. We want to allow for the motility of the food to go and get digested as with the speed that it needs to be digested with. So the question is, several questions that you made, somebody might have in their minds on about water is, so how much enough water is enough? That's number one. So number one, water is going to be enough depending on your body size. So what I do is you would take your weight in pounds and then divide that by 2. And the number that you get, that is the amount of water that you need to drink in ounces.
In ounces, yeah.
Now, the challenge here is if your weight is going to take you higher than 128 ounces, which is 1 gallon, then I would say that's the maximum you need to take, at least for now, because then there's something as overhydration.
Yes.
So I don't want anybody taking over a gallon of water every day. And then if your weight is too low, because somebody might be joining this challenge just not because they want to lose weight, but just because they want to get healthy and maintain healthy habits. So if you're joining this challenge because you're not targeting weight, your weight is within limits, and your weight is not going to take you above 64 ounces, then that's the minimum somebody needs to take. So
64.
yeah, nobody's taking anything below 64. So our target is anything above 64, anything below 128 ounces. If you are thinking in terms of liters, then you will take those ounces and then divide them by 30. Then that will give you the amount of liters of water that you're drinking. Because I do know some people might be joining the challenge from a different country that uses liters, and they're like, what are ounces? How do I even measure ounces? So don't feel like you're left out. So you would take your weight in kilograms. Let me just double check to make sure that, because I rarely use that method. Let me just double check and make sure that I'm getting the right thing. So give me 1 second. Let me go. I can't do mental math anymore. Mm. Yeah, because I'm trying to just double check to make sure that it's correct one. Yeah. So you would take your weight in kilograms and divide that by 30. So for example, if your weight is 70 kilograms, you're going to divide that by 30, and that is going to give you 2.5 liters of water. So if your weight is 90 kilograms, you're going to divide that by 30, and you're going to get 3 liters of water. Now, 3 liters of water, that is times, so that's going to be in ounces, will be 90 ounces. So basically, your weight, if you're because I don't want to confuse, because I know Americans use pounds, so you're going to use the pound one. For example, if your weight is 150, you're going to divide that by 2, you will get 75. So 75 is the amount of ounces that you're going to be drinking in a day. Now, if you are to take that in kilograms, because your weight in 150 pounds would be 68 kilograms. So 68 kilograms divided by 30, that is going to be 2.3 liters of water. So that's the amount of water somebody will be taking in terms of liters. But to avoid the confusion, just use ounces or use kilograms. Don't mix the two, because then you're going to confuse yourself. So for those who are using ounces, you divide your weight by 2, you get half of that weight in ounce. So that half of your weight in pounds will be the amount of water in ounces. If you're using kilograms, then you're going to take the number of kilograms of your weight and then divide that by 30, which is going to give you the number of liters of water that you're going to be drinking. I hope that is clear. Now, and this is a day. Now, you may not get to, if you don't be drinking that amount of water because it may look a lot, you may not achieve that the first day tomorrow. The time we are getting to Wednesday, even if you're not hitting the goal, I would really, really hope we're getting somewhere to 3/4 of our goal.
3/4, okay.
Yeah, but let's shoot high so that we can land somewhere. Now,
Wait, can I interrupt you? Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
You know what? I don't even hardly get 64 ounces. And I'm looking and it's 117 ounces. I'm like, whoa, I'll try.
You will do it. So somebody challenged me some times back. It's like, don't say you would try, Naomi. Just say you will do it.
Okay, I'll do it.
So if we don't hit the 117 ounces, at least let's eat 90.
Okay.
So we can stretch ourselves. We have that capacity, and I believe you can. I believe you will, and I believe the body will allow you to do it. So it's looking at the positive. It's looking at the doable. It's looking at how you're able to do amazing things, and your body has been graced to do amazing things by God. And again, we're still in that surrender mode, so that we don't get controlled by the difficulties that we see, and
Okay.
and the things that we think we cannot achieve. So don't feel discouraged. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we're gonna get there. So it's all right.
What was the other thing you said? Water and what?
So the second thing, so the first thing is making sure that we're getting enough water. Now, the second piece to the challenge would be the food, but I'm gonna skip the food, go to the third thing, then I'll come back to the food, because the food for you, it's going to be a little bit different than everybody else. So, but the third piece, and which I think is the most important, is the spiritual aspect of it. So, at least between Monday and Friday, and of course every other day as we go forward, but specifically this week, I will put out some scriptures that can guide us from Monday to Friday. But I want us to be able to put some more concerted effort in aligning ourselves with scriptures that talk about how we can take care of our bodies and how we can surrender our health and our bodies. Like Pastor today was preaching, he was talking about why wait until pray when we are walking in the hospital room.
That's right.
Why wait to pray until we are going for that surgery? Why wait to pray until something is looming and the danger is looming? So we want to be able to handle those things. We want to be able to petition those things. But before we can even start petitioning, we just want to surrender. We want to surrender. So Monday and Friday, I will just drop out some scripture thoughts, some things that we can muse on, and some scriptures that can guide us into that surrender part of how we can surrender our emotions, our eating, the things that we feel like they're strongholds, that we can just bring them to God and start aligning and allowing God to reset our mindsets, our bodies, our health, and bring it under His control. So that's the second piece. To the third piece, to which is not the least. I think it is the most important part of it, because I know Matthew 4:4, where we were today, is one of my biggest motivation in coming up with this community. Like, as much as we need food, we need God more than we need food.
That's right.
But when we look at the first part of that chapter, where that verse where Jesus is saying, let me just open it so that I don't butcher it, and that will not be good. So Matthew 4:4. So Matthew 4:4 says, so this is where Jesus is being led to the wilderness to be tempted and tried, and it is after the 40 days of fasting. And he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. But the verse before that, it's talking about the context of it. So we are looking at 3, and when the tempter came in, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command these things to be made bread. So we are being shaken, and we have these accusations that come to us all the time. We have the accusations that you've tried before, it's never worked. What makes you think it's going to work this time?
Mm-hmm.
If you've not obeyed God before and you just eat your emotions out and you've not prayed before, what makes you think it's going to what makes you think it's going to work this time? So the accusations might look true. The accusations may not be true. But at the end of the day, we know we have a promise that no matter what has happened, we have an advocate with God.
Mm-hmm.
If I ate my emotions yesterday, doesn't mean I have to eat my emotions today just because I did that yesterday. I just need to bring it to the cross to know that there is no condemnation to them who are in Christ Jesus. We have been given the power. And when we were singing this song, I don't remember the hymn that we were singing. I think it's the last hymn that we were singing about, "Come behold the wondrous works of God." I just the last verse had so much revelation that I was convicted, because then Christ is the power that raised Jesus from the dead. There's no more grave. Mm-hmm. So that was really convicting and encouraging, because sometimes we feel like we are living in dead issues. Like, my willpower is dead. My strength to be consistent is dead. But then there's no grave. Jesus is not in the grave anymore. And if that power that lives in Christ and raised him from the dead lives within me, it can give me the strength to overcome my challenges, to overcome my emotions, to overcome my feelings of discouragement and my lack of faith. Mm-hmm. Because again, I don't believe it's just entirely the food. I think the devil will just use the food and our body, our weight, our health issues to bring us back to whatever will take us away from our eyes being fixed on Jesus.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
He will use that because, when we are overly consumed by how we look like, we are not going to witness to anybody. Mm-hmm. He knows if we are overly consumed by my knees hurting, my head hurting, my stomach rumbling, like now your stomach hurts, it's going to be hard to think about praying for somebody when your stomach is in pain. Mm-hmm. So he wants to use the things that are soft weaknesses to us to be able to keep us more away from a walk of faith with God. Mm-hmm. So those are the things that we'll be surrendering this week, and to realize that everything, there is nothing that God has put on the side that he has said we cannot bring to him. The inflammation, the autoimmune disease, the weight issues, the stress, whatever it is, there's nothing that God secluded and said that, no, you can't pray about this. He says, in all things, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, that we make our requests known unto him. And the peace, and his peace will keep our minds in Christ Jesus. Mm-hmm. So if that is a promise, there can only be such opposition to it, because the devil has a clue on how powerful that can be. Mm-hmm. So he's keeping us away from that, just bring it. And that's what Pastor, I feel like he was saying, that why don't we pray? We don't pray. We whine, we do everything else before we even tell God, please, God, can you handle this for me, please? We whine, we complain, we call people, we try to make people do things, we try to force it, we try to do all these things before we can come back and say, okay, God, I've tried everything else. Can you help me, please? Instead of flipping that, and I'm guilty in so many ways about this. We flip things back and we start by the complaining instead of starting with the prayer and the thanksgiving and the supplications. So that's what we will be doing this week. Just asking the Lord to take over our eating habits, to take over our thinking processes, to take over our bodies. And I also do believe even the autoimmune issues, we bring them to God. And I do believe that he can bring change and healing. Mm-hmm. So that's the third part of what we'll be doing. And I think the most important thing. So now the rest will be food. I'm going to be customizing your food. So just bring that list tonight, and then we can take it over.
Can I just listen to what you're saying? Just
Sure,
like,
you can listen. It's not going to be long. It's the easy part. So this food is the water is the hardest part because a lot of
yeah.
people do not. It's not that they don't like it; they're just not used to drinking water. And plain water, because we're used to drinking sodas, juices, milk, all these other things. It's hard for us to just drink plain water.
Can we put lemon in it?
You can put lemon. That's a good question. You can put lemon. You can put cucumber. You can put mint.
Okay.
You can do, um, yeah, those are good things you can alternate your water flavor so that at least you don't feel like you're drinking the same thing over and over again. So you can do lemon, you can do cucumber, you can do mint. Those are three things that I know for sure are not going to temper with the water, the hydration level of water. But when we start adding like something ginger, so ginger is good, but it becomes more of a detox now. We are starting to get to the cleansing part of it, which is okay, but we want to still maintain the amount of fresh water that we're drinking to keep the what are they called? The electrolytes back.
Electrolytes.
Yes, to be able to eliminate a lot of those, to keep the body at a good hydration level. So if you have any more questions for water as we continue, that's great. Just keep bringing them or whatever questions. Don't hesitate to interrupt. Now, when it comes to the raw food challenge now, so unless you're customizing and if you're trying to modify, just chat me on the side and let's see what. Just send me a chat message and we can try to see what your customization looks like. But if you're just following the actual raw challenge, so it's Monday to Friday. We're going to be eating anything that you can eat raw. In my world, that would look like vegetables, fruits, and this is fruits of any kind, vegetables of any kind that can be eaten raw. You need you if it's not a vegetable or a fruit that is known to a lot of people and it's probably cultural, you want to make sure that it's a fruit that you can eat raw and it's not poisonous when it's not cooked. So you want to be able, if you're not sure, I would rather you ask consult your medical practitioners, or let's just talk about it before you can eat something and then it's not something that you're supposed to eat raw. So I will put that caveat there. Now, the other disclaimer that I'm going to put when it comes to this is if this, because it can be a little bit challenging for a beginner, you want to be able to consult with your doctor before you can dive into it. And because I'm a registered dietitian, but because I am not doing a one-on-one session with everybody with this challenge, and I'm not talking to you to be able to know your specific circumstances, please, if you have any questions, do not begin the challenge before either you talk to me privately or you are going to talk to your doctor about it. Because at the end of the day, you will be liable for you're in charge of your health. And because I don't know the specific situations that you're dealing with, please, if you have any hesitations or questions, make sure you ask before you dive into it. Because I am not serving in as your registered dietitian at this point because we have not dealt with any HIPAA issues. This is just an open forum. It's just going to be purely just communication and just information that I'm putting out there with its benefit. But for your specifics, everybody's specific situation, you need to be able to have consultation. Now, that being said, we are eating those four things: fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. You can eat the nuts and seeds in powder form. For example, like you can eat a flax seed. It's ground, it's flour. You can eat any of those things in terms of flour as long as the flour is not pre-cooked. It's just ground raw. That would be okay. Now, the vegetables can be frozen or they can just be freshly harvested. They don't have to be all the time freshly harvested. If you can handle frozen vegetables and fruits, and especially if you're doing a green smoothie, that should be able to be okay. Now, if you're eating salad, I hope you want to eat a frozen spinach because it's not going to be okay. It's not going to be as good as if it was fresh spinach. I'm just giving out an example. So just because it's a raw challenge doesn't need to be boring and disgusting. So we want to make it as tasty, as adventurous as it can be. If you're a beginner in this, I would encourage you just get like a few variety, just get the most fruits and vegetables that you're comfortable with, and then start from there. Don't go to the store and buy the entire grocery store of fruits and vegetables that you're not familiar with, because then you're going to shortchange yourself and it's going to be extremely difficult to finish, and then you're impeding your progress for future challenges or for future endeavors like this. Now, the other thing that I'm going to bring on that is when you are eating, for example, in terms of the servings, just because we're eating vegetables and fruits, and especially the fruits, because they do contain a lot of sugar. Fruits contain a lot of sugar. We are also trying to be cautious of that. Now, what the ratios that I'm going to give you is, and if you think that your portions may be out of this because probably you're a little bit above the weight, the normal weight ranges, or you feel like it's either too little or too much for you, just send me a chat and we can talk about it. But on a general perspective, for example, if you're making a smoothie, you want to be able to take, even if you're not making a smoothie, let's say, for example, you're even doing a salad, you're just mixing your vegetables and fruits, you want to be able to take 4 servings, and a serving in this aspect, I'm talking about a cup. So for example, if you're doing a smoothie, you want to take 2 cups and 4 cups of vegetables. 4 cups of vegetables, 2 cups of fruit. If you're doing a salad, you want to do the same. Now, a salad, because it's not smoothie wise, it may be less to finish just because you're chewing, there's more work being put to it. So you may get tired a little bit more. When you're drinking your smoothie, it's easier to drink a little bit more vegetables and fruits than it is when you're chewing them. So you want to be cautious of that. So you will still want to do the same ratio, 4-1. That is going to be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can interchangeably do green smoothies and the salads, just the mix of the vegetables and fruits. You can do individual fruits. You can say, I'm just eating apples for breakfast. I'm eating pineapples for this, but you can do that, but it's not going to be the most effective way, because you want to be able to combine the sugars in the fruits and the increased fiber and minerals and vitamins in the vegetables. So you want to combine the two to get maximum effect. Now, the other thing to note is, because we are almost going to increase our fiber intake to exponential amounts, depending on where you are in your personal health right now, if you take a lot of vegetables and fruits or you don't. If you're coming from square zero where you rarely take vegetables, you're increasing your fiber extremely high. So that's where the water intake comes in handy. If you're not taking enough water with such high increased fiber, you're going to get constipated, you're going to hate me, and it will not be my fault. So I'm telling you now, you have to increase them both at the same time. You need to up your water intake, because then it's going to help the digestions of the fibers, and it's going to help with those stubborn belly fats. Now, for your fruits and vegetables, I would encourage you to, and especially if you've been eating healthy, so to speak, in quotes, for a while, and you've not been seeing any changes, you want to go for fruits that are very low glycemic index. Now, what do I mean by glycemic index? Glycemic index is how quickly sugars in a fruit are visible in your bloodstream, how quickly they shoot your blood sugar up and how quickly it drops. Now, the higher and the quickly the sugars shoot in your bloodstream, the higher the glycemic index. For example, if you eat a cup of berries and a cup of pineapple, the pineapple is going to shoot your blood glucose very quickly, very high. And then very quickly, it will come down very low. Now, berries have less glycemic index, so it's going to shoot up, but it's going to take a while before it starts going up, and then it will take a while before it's gone. So it's going to make a normal curve that is not very sharp in the middle. So you want to focus more on fruits that are not very high sugar. Things like apples, things like oranges, things like berries, all types of berries. What else? Those are the most. Tomatoes. So tomatoes can fall either fruit or vegetable depending on who you're talking to. So tomatoes are good. But the other fruits, and especially if you just you don't have a lot of vegetables in your plate, you want to go for those low glycemic fruits. Now, if you're doing the ratios of the 4 cups to 1, if you're doing just and you think 4 cups is a lot, 6 cups of vegetables and fruits at the same time is a lot, you want to go 1 to 2, where you eat 3 cups of both vegetables and fruits. And if you feel like once you finish eating the 3 cups, your satiety value is still low, you can add another 1 or 2 cups. So I would say go slow, and especially the fiber is going to make you feel full, and drinking enough water. You lower your expectations on the quantity of the fruits and vegetables you can eat, because you don't want to force yourself to be so full because you're going to start feeling sick at the same time. So far, if you have any questions, just type it under this the posting here, or just send me a private chat, and then we can address it. So basically, that's what we'll be doing in terms of the food: raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. You want to be careful with the nuts as well and the seeds, because they tend to be a lot more oily and energy dense. So if you eat like a full cup of cashews or a full cup of nuts, you're not likely to see a lot of changes. And especially if you're targeting weight loss, you will see a lot of health changes. You will see your skin getting better. You might shed a few pounds along the waist, but your progress will not be as fast as it can be, because nuts and seeds tend to be heavy in calorie and heavy in fat. So that may linger a while. But on a general case, it's going to improve your heart health. It's going to improve your mental health. And it's going to give you generally, it's going to improve your energy levels. But in terms of the weight, it may be a little bit slower. So be wary of nuts and seeds. Be careful to add your water intake as you add your vegetable intake, and be careful to choose low glycemic vegetables. I might put a list on the resources just about a show of what the low glycemic fruits are, so that you can make your pick and choose what really goes with your taste. I feel like I've covered everything. I will be waiting you guys for your questions, for us to get into a more discussion, if that helps it that way. I don't know if Laura, you have a question, you can ask for them. Maybe it will open up and we can answer some of those things before anybody else watches the video too.
Well, so no fats. The fats would be the seeds and the nuts.
You can do, like, for example, if you're doing a vegetable, you want just like, I find it when I'm doing like a mix of the vegetables and fruits is too sweet and it's water. I don't need to add like olive oil. But if like you're doing just purely vegetables, like you want to do a meal where you're just eating like a vegetable salad, you can do an olive oil. You can do coconut oil, like if you know you have the good coconut oil, or you can do MCT oil. Those are good anti-inflammatory oils. But you want to be careful how much you put into it as well. But and then you should also be careful how processing the oil is done.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other challenge. That's the other tricky. So if you can avoid the oils this week, if you do like between 18 and 20 nuts, that should be okay for a serving.
18 to 20 nuts?
Yeah, 18 to 20 nuts. That's just like a half a handful. It's not a
salad.
Yeah, you can say that again.
On top of the salad or the vegetables or whatever?
Whatever. I add them in anything, whether sweet or sour. I can add nuts into anything. Mm-hmm. So you just want to be careful how much of it you eat, because they tend to be very energy heavy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I know I've put sunflower seeds on a salad. It's just if I do too much walnuts or almonds, I know I cannot eat cashews. I'm very to them. But I kind of like, it's like no peanuts. But I think that sunflower seeds, I think I've done flax ground, but like
you can try very mini portions. because even those little portions, when done consistently over time, they are good for your heart health. They're good for your circulation. So I don't think, just check your tolerance level and just have as low as possible. Any little thing helps towards the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I can sprinkle in them anywhere as long as they're edible for you. It doesn't matter.
It's not, it's like the pistachios are not, I don't know. I think there's mold on those, but I will I don't know, this is very different than what I'm used to. Well, but I do eat like a big salad. I do eat fruits for breakfast, but I'm eating that with bacon. And so to do, now the salad is 4 cups of vegetables to 1 cup of fruit, a whole cup. What?
2 cups of fruit.
For the salad?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's too much, you can divide that half and say 1 cup of fruit and 2 cups of vegetables.
Oh, okay.
Because some people might find it very filling, especially if you're meeting your water goal. I may not expect you to finish 6 cups of vegetables and fruits in a service. That might be a lot.
Are you saying, now I'm used to weighing my food. I don't usually put it in measuring cups. So I weigh it, like I weigh out 6 ounces of fruit in the morning. And then, and for lunch, I usually have I try to get 8 ounces. I weigh.
Yeah, for fruits and vegetables, I don't go by weight.
So you want them in a cup?
Go by cup. For fruits and vegetables, it goes by cup. Because that has been the standard way a lot of the basic measurements go by. Now, if it comes to potatoes, meat, rice I also do by cup. I don't do by weight. Oatmeal I do by cup, but I do oatmeal when it's now that's when you're cooking. I do it before it's cooked. I don't measure when it's cooked. Rice, I don't measure rice before cooking. I measure rice after cooking.
Okay, right.
So there are those things that I would do by cup. There are those things that I would do by weight. Now, the reason why I tend to go by cup is, one, it also depends on the water content in that fruit or that vegetable. So if you're weighing it, you're likely to get, if it's good hydrated fruit, you're going to get very minimal fruit and vegetable because it's heavy because of the water content or the fiber content. So I'm looking more in terms of cups, and it's chopped. It's not for example, if you're doing celery, you want to chop it into small pieces so that you can get a good amount in the cup. Okay.
I just found it really hard to measure like lettuce in a cup. I mean,
so it depends. So if you're eating lettuce and you're not chopping it, you're eating the entire leaf. For example, if you're just taking lettuce leaves and you're just eating them like that, it really doesn't matter how much lettuce you eat. It's not gonna affect you negatively. You can eat as much lettuce until you get full.
Okay.
Basically. The only thing actually that really here would warrant a lot of scrutiny is the fruits because of the glucose in it.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Vegetables, you can eat as much vegetable as your stomach allows you. Now, you will need to be careful because if you eat way too much again, you might cause your stomach upset. But there's no reason why you will need to weigh or measure your vegetables. You can eat until you get full. Because when we are eating the normal meal patterns, not this kind of challenge, what I do tell people is measure your protein, measure your carbs, and then eat as much vegetables as you. If you're not full from your regular portion, you can take a second helping of vegetables.
Right. That's right.
They really, it doesn't make sense. So this is just for the purpose, because what I have in mind, I should take videos of me making my mixtures. What I have in mind is, because I mix all my stuff, so I want to kind of have the correct portions as I mix them so that I don't end up having a lot of fruit in it. So basically that's the only reason, because some people also think in terms of structure. They're like, no, if you tell me to go freelance, I don't know what I'm doing. So a lot of people have realized the benefit would give me numbers and I will go do what I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, vegetables, you can have as much freedom as you want. The only thing I'm worried about is the fruits because of that glucose fluctuations and the avoiding those glucose spikes.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what about starchy vegetables?
Starchy vegetables. So that's a good, really good questions. So things like potato, I don't think you're going to eat a potato uncooked.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people, especially here in the US, they classify potatoes as vegetables.
Vegetables.
I don't count potatoes as vegetables.
No.
I tend to count them more of carbs. Now, such a vegetable that I can be eaten raw is like carrots, because they have a higher glucose content than most vegetables, but you can eat carrots as and because we are more majoring just on, we don't have a lot of carbs that are coming in except the glucose in the fruits, really feel the liberty to eat carrots just like any other vegetable. Of course, you're not going to eat a whole bag of carrots and not eat green vegetables. So feel free to count them. If I can say, I will push them to the side of the fruit portion. Like if you're just having more carrots, just measure it maybe a third a cup and mix it with another fruit and another fruit here, and you should be fine. But you're able to eat carrot uncooked. I don't think anybody's gonna eat potatoes that are not cooked.
That's true.
Corn, a lot of people will count corn as a vegetable. I don't. And then again, yeah, and again, I don't see how somebody's gonna eat corn when it's raw. It's disgusting. It's just, and it can make your stomach hurt. Like you don't want to eat raw corn. No, it's not okay. So yeah. So basically, it should be covered. The only things we need to watch in the entire process is how much seeds and nuts we are eating, and then how we are mixing those fruits to avoid those glucose spikes. Yeah. And of course, the water.
When you do your smoothies, do you put water in your smoothies?
So for the purpose of this challenge, the only thing which should be good to put is water.
In the smoothies.
Okay. Yes. And it also, now for general smoothies, it depends on what is your goal. Now, if somebody's goal is just to be healthy, they're not targeting weight loss, then they can use milk alternates. They can even use whole milk. They can use they can make it a little bit more calorie heavy. But if somebody's target is lose belly fat and general weight loss and reducing inflammation, I don't encourage adding a lot of these other things. Water, the vegetables, and the fruits. And if you have to, just a tiny little bit of sweetener like honey or maple syrup or stevia or monk fruit. Yeah. But other than that, I just encourage water because again, it's very easy to overconsume calories in smoothies than it is with a regular plate. Yes. Because we just got dumping things, and before we know it, it's too heavy. Yeah.
And what about if you get hungry? Just have fruit or I mean, this is like 3 meals a day, but what if like with that fruit in the morning? What if you get hungry?
Yes. So if you're getting hungry, there are two things that you need to check before you can start eating in between. You can do snacking. You can plan your snacks into the program. You can say, I will eat my 3 meals, and then in between my 2 meals, I will do 2 snacks, a morning snack and an afternoon snack. And that's okay. You can just take like an apple for your snack, or you can choose to do your choice of nut. Like for you, it may not be nuts or seeds. It could just be a fruit of your choice to do as a snack, to just kind of make sure that you're not overly hungry. But there are 2 things before you can start thinking of you're going to add something and you're too hungry. There's 2 things you need to ask yourself. Did I consume enough portions during my meal? That's number 1. Number 2, am I drinking enough water? That's another thing. Okay. So you have to ask yourself, am I drinking enough water? The other thing you might want to investigate is, am I overthinking and using food as a coping mechanism?
Yeah.
So that's another thing you also need to check into, and especially during the spiritual aspect of it, and investigation is, what emotions am I allowing to rule? Am I really hungry? Or is it because I'm trying to cope out of a certain feeling, a certain situation, a certain hard discussion, whatever it might be. Am I trying to cop out with food? And am I really hungry? Or it's just a disguised hunger to confuse my memory? But if all those things are catered for and you really like, yeah, I'm really hungry, then there's no problem. I would say your go-to kind of snacks would be an orange, the berries, the tangerines, a medium-sized apple, or just an avocado. An avocado is a good way to center you. So to center your cravings, it's a heavy source of fat, and it also good fats. And I would encourage you, if you eat avocado, you can eat it in the morning, because that kind of gives you set up like the table for your metabolism throughout the day.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, but you also want to be careful also for the avocados. Don't overeat them, because they're good heavy in fat. Just like sugar, fat is fat. It does, at the end of the day, it may not be so distinguishable whether it's good fat or bad fat, but there is good fat, bad fat. But good fat will also slow down your progress as well.
That's true, because it's high in calories.
Yes, and you just need enough for the body to function and do all the metabolic functions it's needed. When we overly consume it, then it's just gonna impede our progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's not bad. As long as we keep the moderation into it and the portion in it, we should be good.
Okay, so I will bring those papers to you, and then we can maybe figure out what to replace the seeds with and the nuts, or are you still, you want me to try? I'm just afraid my blood sugar is not going to handle this very well.
Yeah, so let's discuss. I don't want to, because if it's all the way to the end of the video, I may not cut it as much. But let's discuss those modifications when we have the list, and then
okay.
If you have an actual paper blood work, just bring it with you.
Blood work? You want blood? Oh, okay.
Blood work.
Yeah. I get blood work every 3 months from both the thyroid doctor and the rheumatologist, so I can bring it. You want a copy of it? You want a copy of it?
No, just bring it. You can go back with a copy. I don't need to keep a copy of that.
Oh, okay, because I can bring you copies.
I just need to see, and then to know where we are. You can go back home with them. I don't need to keep them.
Okay, those okay. And are you meeting once a week, or I don't understand what the schedule is here
for the challenge? Or specifically for the challenge, we meet today. We are not meeting tomorrow. We're not meeting Tuesday. Let me see the calendar, the dates that I had set up for the meeting, just to not say the wrong thing. So I know we are meeting Friday. So we're meeting today, and then we're gonna meet. What happened to my calendar?
So that's what I need to look at, is your calendar. That's when I know what things are, because I didn't know we were going to do this today.
Afternoon. So that, and I know there's a lot of new things that are coming up. So we are meeting today. My next meeting probably is going to be Tuesday. Yeah. So we're gonna meet again on Tuesday, and then after Tuesday we meet again on Friday, and that's it.
What time?
Tuesday is the same time. So Tuesday is gonna be 5 p.m.
Our time?
Yes, it's gonna be 5 p.m. our time.
And Friday?
I look like I double booked. Let me check the timing for the Tuesday one. I think it's got double booked. Friday is the same time, 5 p.m.
Okay, so you're gonna check on Tuesday? Okay.
Yeah. So Tuesday, I might change the time a little bit, but Friday we are meeting on we're meeting at 5 p.m. our time.
Okay. And this is the challenge meeting.
Yes, then this is a challenge meeting. Now for the just Q&A meetings, we meet every first Tuesday of the month. That's for this group. Now for the membership, which if you go to the site, there is what we call the table Tuesday. When you look at the calendar, if you're able to open the calendar,
I don't have it up here, but
That's okay. Don't
yeah.
worry. Let me share my screen. Maybe that will help a little bit.
So you have the challenge going, you have the Q&M meeting, then
Yeah.
you have your personal counsel or counseling. Do you have 3 different things going on?
Yes, it's a lot of things going on. So but it's gonna streamline with no time. So it's gonna look very confusing. It's just because we're beginning the community, but it's gonna streamline. So can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is Tuesday. So Tuesdays I do have, so like last week, the one that we met last week,
Mm-hmm.
Table Tuesday. So the Table Tuesday is for the free group where
Okay.
anybody can come in and they can join in, and
Okay.
there's nothing, it's just general questions. I'm not dealing with somebody's specific nutrition needs. But when you come to the 6 p.m., so the 5 p.m., so the 6 p.m. is the one we met last week.
Okay.
So now the 5 p.m. is for the paid, which we are calling, like if you go to the community, you will see, when you go to the classroom, you will see the BFF circle. The BFF circle is the paid membership. So this is the one that I was telling you that is $20 for the first 10 women to join. It's $20. And then after that, the price will go to $37 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we meet on a week. We will be meeting on a weekly basis. If you're in the membership group, we meet weekly. And you're also free to join in the free Q&A.
Okay.
So for example, if somebody is in the free group and also the membership group, on the first week of every month, they can join in and ask questions for 2 hours. Because then I will be on the first hour with the paid membership, and then the free Q&A after that at 6. The circle, the paid membership, that will be a weekly meeting. Only for the ladies who are in the BFF circle.
Okay, but it's not on the calendar.
And this will fall off until we have another challenge again. So I'm looking for the challenges to be every 2 months as of now. So after we do this week's challenge, the next challenge will be the first week of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have your BFF on this calendar, right? It's not there.
It is this one.
Which one?
The
BFF is the table.
Table Tuesday. Yes.
Oh.
Actually, I would just change that, and I will edit that to make it the BFF circle, so that it doesn't confuse.
Okay, so that's the membership. Okay.
Yeah. The 5 p.m. is a membership, and it's weekly.
Okay.
Yes.
And the other one is the free one.
Yeah.
And what is the name of that one? Just Q&A free. Okay.
This is actually what was supposed to be the Table Tuesday. I think the person had requested to set the calendar for me. We just got a confusion into it. So I'm gonna switch this up, and it will be clear. So thank you for asking those questions, because it's making me see where I need to change things up.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so for the free community, when you come to the classroom, anybody can start here. So if I want to open this up, you will see it has all this material. Now this one is, I need to put in the video for that. This is already put in. There's something a little bit about myself. So this is basically where everybody is introducing themselves. So just come in here and introduce yourself. What are your goals? What you want to achieve? Look for a comment, a post to comment something that you like. And then this is now introducing, it's just like an overview of the methodology that I use, which is, this is just the introduction of it, which I'm going to introduce that meeting, the whole thing. So there's a video already that introduces the belief system, introduces the food, and then this is introducing the fellowship aspect of the methodology. And then this is just a video to tell you, like, what else? Like if somebody wants to work one-on-one with me, then they would come here and book a call with me. If they want to join the BFF circle, then they can book a call with me, and then we can discuss about like what is in the BFF circle, what are the benefits of being in the BFF circle, as opposed to just staying in the free.
Okay. Well, I did go through some of that BFF stuff.
Yes. So the workshops, this is just resources for anybody to come in and look. So this is like previous master classes that I've done. I just put them here.
Okay.
And
But
then,
yeah, I did do some of that BFF.
yeah.
Anyway, go on.
And then these resources is just videos or material that I just record randomly. It doesn't have like a specific anything tied to it. I just put them here for anybody who just wants additional information. Sometimes I'll just think of something and talk about it. Because again, in terms of our nutrition and our health, there's a lot of material. Sometimes it may not be structured, and there's just a lot of materials out there.
Okay.
And then success stories, this is just other people who I've worked with and they were willing to testimonial and just listen to what they had to say.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically that is it. But this is the membership that I was telling you. So this is a little bit more in-depth. It has like the belief system, you see, like it's broken down into more like this is the entire methodology in depth. So when you come to the introduction, it has like the welcome, it has setting your goals, how, and then a Google document for the goals, and then a spreadsheet to track your weights. So this is like a board that we use, and then water intake and tracking, and then meal plans, just general view. And then when you come to actual, the methodology, the BFF methodology, this talks about what do I cover in that belief system. So this is just an in-depth expansion of what is in the Start Here module. And this is what goes in with the weekly Q&A. So like if you're there are things that you go through here and they're not making clear, they're not making sense, they're not clear enough, then that's what we come into the calendar to address every week.
Oh, okay.
So the 5 p.m. what I will be calling the table, the BFF circle is what goes on with the paid membership. Yeah. So I'll just change this up to the BFF circle.
Okay. And we had talked about me doing it for free. So how does that work?
So basically, it just has planning to meet. So what you're actually doing for free is not the membership. Actually, it is just a special one. And I don't have this for everybody just because of where we started, you and me. And this is just you setting up meetings with me. Now, there's the third level of work with me, which is the one-on-one. Yeah. So the one-on-one is where you have the benefits of the BFF circle. And you have the benefits of the free membership, but then you're able to work with me. We have a total of 8 sessions that we work with, and it can be anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours per session, depending on what is the need for that day and what we're working on. And then when we are working one-on-one, let me pull up the document to be able to show you. Let me stop sharing my screen. I'll pull up the document and show you again exactly what it entails in the one-on-one program. It's like me completely working with you with your specific, because like for the BFF membership, I don't meet with everybody every week one-on-one. It's just sessions, and it's the materials that are there. I can meet upon request, but it has to be somebody has to be doing the work of watching the videos and attending the Q&A sessions for that to happen. Because if somebody is not watching the videos and they're not doing the plan, if we meet one-on-one, it's not going to serve the purpose.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to work. But now the one-on-one, let me pull up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull that up. Because that one is not in the platform. All right, here we are.
So what am I supposed to be doing? Which one? I guess I'm a little confused of why I don't know what I'm doing? I'm doing the challenge and I'm doing the Q&M meeting, right? That's what I'm doing.
So the free ones, yeah, those ones, but then those ones we just meet monthly. So let me pull that up and then I will show you.
Okay.
And then I will. That's a good question. I will answer that.
Okay. Because I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, I don't know. Where do I fit? Where's my spot? Can I go in there and look at all those BFF stuff or not?
So let me go ahead and share my screen again.
Mhm.
So you can see my screen now.
Mhm.
Can you see? So this is what
Yeah.
we work on when it comes to the one-on-one. Now the
Mhm.
one-on-one program, that is a higher price than the membership because the membership price is $37. Even if somebody is not going to be among the 20 first women to sign up. Now,
Mhm.
this is what we work on. We work on your specific goals. I work with you. I don't let you. So it's like we are working the material of the BFF circle one-on-one. Me working with you and helping you create those goals. You're not going to create them on your own and come and ask questions. We create them together. We create them together. We work together, and I make sure that you know exactly what to do, what meals to follow. So basically, this is kind of what I'm doing. But for you, because that is not on a monthly basis. Remember that we had talked about you becoming the first woman to join this, and then you get like the one-on-one with it. So I'm not going to charge you the 1,200, which is the price for the one-on-one, where those 8 sessions between 1 and 2 hours worth of time. We work on this. We will work on your goals. We will work on your meal plans. We will do the entire methodology. The peeling of the layers, the assignments on the mental, the mindsets and that identity. It has like homeworks to do for you to be able to find those things out. So we work them together.
I see.
Yeah. So this is like you coming into a platform where it's you and me in a classroom and we are doing the assignment together. And I'm helping you navigate the questions and implement them one-on-one, as opposed to the BFF circle where you have access to the material, but you have access to me on a question basis on Tuesdays.
That's what the Q&M. What's Q&M mean?
Q&A, question and answer.
QA, is that an A? Q&A?
Yeah, that's an A.
Okay.
So this is a Q&A, which is let me go ahead and update that so that at least it's not confusing.
That's a Q&A. Okay.
Yeah, Q&A. So this is going to be the table Tuesday.
Table Tuesday Q&A?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is a free one. So I'm just gonna call it Table Tuesdays free. So this is for everybody because it's just general questions out there. There's no material they're following except the general material. And it's once a month.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is just once a month, every first week of the month. So level 2 is where it's the paid membership, which is $37 a month with a discount of discount to $20 a month if you pay early. If you pay for you're among the first 20 women, and that's like a lifetime membership.
Which one is that one?
That's the level, the BFF circle.
BFF, okay.
Yeah. So the BFF circle is what I would encourage you to gain access to, so that at least you're in it, you have the lower price, and then because I'm giving you that option of just doing the one-on-one with me at the price of